Hello, Gethsemane. This is the reflection or the devotion for Tuesday of Holy Week 2020. And I'm going to do something just slightly different today. We're still going to read the psalm, but as I read it, I'm going to pause in the places that give me pause. So you're going to get my reaction as I'm reading, which will bring out hopefully some details. So let's begin. This is Psalm 71. I've taken refuge in you, Lord. Don't let me ever be put to shame. Deliver me and rescue me by your righteousness. By your righteousness is a very Lutheran phrase, especially this week, this Holy Week. We remember the significance of Jesus and what his death means to us. And as Lutherans, we recognize that we have done nothing to earn that God's grace and forgiveness to us is an act of God's righteousness on behalf of Christ. So there's a little bit of Lutheranism in the Psalms. I would never say that in a class to any of my professors. Deliver me and rescue me by your righteousness. Bend your ear toward me and save me. Be my rock of refuge where I can always escape. You commanded that my life be saved because you are my rock and my fortress. My God, rescue me from the power of the wicked. Rescue me from the grip of the wrongdoer and the oppressor, because you are my hope, Lord. You, Lord, are the one I've trusted since childhood. I've depended on you from birth. You cut the cord when I came from my mother's womb. My praise is always about you. I've become an example to people because you are my strong refuge. My mouth is filled with your praise, glorifying you all day long. Don't cast me off in old age. There seems to be a fear here that in old age this will somehow affect your standing with God. The psalmist here is voicing those fears. Don't cast me off in old age. Don't abandon me when my strength is used up. That can also be a fear. Is there a point at which our faith or our faith in God or our strength, when that is used up, when we can't go on any longer, does that somehow preclude us from God's caring for us? And the answer is no, or at least here it's part of the petition of the psalmist. Yes, my enemies have been talking about me. Those who stalk me plot together. God has abandoned him, they say. Pursue him. A note on that. God has abandoned him. When we think about Holy Week, and we think about the reading we heard on Palm Sunday, and Jesus says, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Here the psalmist is saying that people point to the psalmist and say, God has abandoned him. And the Hebrew word for abandon is the same Aramaic word that Jesus uses. So we have some resonance there with Holy Week. Grab him because no one will deliver him. I think there's also, he saved others, let him save himself. Or God can, Jesus says something, or people say something about Jesus, he can command the angels to come down and save him or something. Don't be far from me, God. My God, hurry to help me. Let my accusers be put to shame, completely finished off. Let those who seek my downfall be dressed in insults and disgrace. Does the psalmist hold back his anger or her anger when people act against them? The answer is no, but it's important to recognize that it's perfectly okay to be upset and to actually have these kinds of feelings about people. But the psalmist here is expressing those feelings in the form of a prayer to God and not it's not telling their accuser that he wishes to see them dressed in insults and disgrace. But me, I will hope always. I will add to all your praise. My mouth will repeat your righteous acts. There's that word righteous. Listen for that. I think it comes up a few more times. My mouth will repeat your righteous acts and your saving deeds all day long. I don't even know how many of those there are. I will dwell on your mighty acts, my Lord. Lord, I will help others remember nothing but your righteous deeds. You've taught me since my youth, God, and I'm still proclaiming your wondrous deeds. So even in my old age with gray hair, don't abandon me, God. Again, there's this fear that gray hair somehow is, a bad thing that could possibly affect our standing with God. This is not true. Not until I tell generations about your mighty arm, tell all who are yet to come about your strength and about your ultimate righteousness, God, because you've done awesome things. Who can compare to you? You who have shown me many troubles and calamities will revive me once more. That's a little troubling. You who have shown me troubles and calamities. Does God give us troubles and calamities? I think we have to take here, this is an ancient worldview where the explanation for why bad things happen is a reflection of something that the deity has done. But here it's important to recognize, well, we may not view things that way anymore, but there's still an expression of hope here. So you who have shown me troubles and calamities will revive me once more. From the depths of the earth, you will raise me up one more time. Please increase my honor and comfort me all around. Then I'll give you thanks with a harp. I will thank you for your faithfulness, my God. I will make music for you with the lyre, Holy One of Israel. My lips will rejoice aloud when I make music to you. My whole being, which you saved, will do the same. My tongue also will tell of your righteousness all day long, because those who seek my downfall have been put to shame and disgraced. So you got, hopefully, there was probably some slight amusement there, but hopefully you got some details in that. But a look at the larger structure of the psalm gives us something else to think about. This is a psalm of help. But there's this interspersion of an expression of trust and then a petition. And then there's trust and hope, and then there's another petition. And then it ends with another expression of trust and praise. And so we can think about this like an Oreo. It's like a sandwich that has some sweetness between the things that are a little more bitter and a little less sweet. I had a parishioner one time who came into my office and wanted to complain to me. This is at a different church, not Gethsemane. I had a parishioner come in and explain to me what an Oreo was. And they said, I'm going to tell you something you're doing well, but then I'm going to give you my actual complaint, and that was the whole beef of the thing. But this is like an Oreo. It's a good lesson for us even in this time during social distancing and isolation, which I know can be very hard. It's probably a little bit different for me since I have Anna with me all the time, and there are those of you who have families and you have members of your families, but there are those of you who live alone, and I think about that often. I think about our members who live alone often, and so I know this can be hard, but it is okay to be frustrated. It is okay to express anger and sadness and heartbreak over the conditions that we have because of the coronavirus. But amidst that, try to find that sweet Oreo cream. Recall what brings you joy. Think about what things you will look forward to when this is over. Our prayers in church teach us to praise God and give thanks at the way that God provides. And I think this psalm does that in talking about recalling God's mighty acts and righteous acts. We give thanks to God for the ways that God provides. And so often, this is through the very meaningful, or the most meaningful of human interaction. So think about how others have acted meaningfully towards you. Think about how you'll act meaningfully towards others when this time is over. and through the rest of this Holy Week, the rest of this season, amidst darkness and despair, which I think Holy Week, causes us to think about, remember that we are fundamentally resurrection people, which is what we will celebrate on Sunday. And so even though we go through these times of darkness and doubt, of feeling alone, my God, why have you forsaken me? That at the end of it, there is hope, and there is much to look forward to. And when we are able to go back to Gethsemane together and worship for the first time again after this, I think that will truly be a resurrection experience. So, blessings to you through the remainder of this Holy Week, and you'll be hearing from Morgan tomorrow.